How blind can a person become for money? The one I loved more than my life only loved my bank balance. Watch till the very end, I promise, it will bring tears to your eyes. Sad flute music playing in the background. Ashraf Ali was a very simple guy from a middle-class family. He worked a low-paying job at a private firm. He never dreamed of a luxurious lifestyle or bags of cash. All he ever wanted was one person who would truly love him, someone with whom he could share all his joys and sorrows. Right around that time, Kajol entered his peaceful life like a storm. Kajol possessed a mesmerizing beauty. With her sweet smile, gentle voice and playful eyes, she could captivate any man in an instant. Ashraf was no exception. The very first time he saw Kajol at a cafe, he lost his heart to her. Whenever Kajol looked into his eyes and spoke, Ashraf felt like the happiest man on earth. Ashraf's love was pure and genuine. He poured all his emotions into loving Kajol with everything he had. Whatever Kajol wished for, Ashraf went out of his way to get it for her. Branded clothes, an expensive iPhone, dinners at fine restaurants, fulfilling every little desire of Kajol became the main duty of Ashraf's life. He walked to his office, stopped hanging out with friends, and skipped his own essential purchases, just to see a small smile on Kajol's face. Ashraf blindly believed that Kajol loved him just as much. However, Ashraf didn't realize that all that glitters is not gold. Kajol had no love for Ashraf in her heart. Her real love was for the money in his pocket. Whenever Ashraf received his salary at the end of the month or earned a heavy bonus from working overtime, there was an extra touch of sweetness in Kajol's behavior. She would sit close to him, showering him with sweet words of affection. But as soon as Ashraf's hands ran empty toward the end of the month, Kajol's tone changed in an instant. Nagging over trivial things, ignoring calls, and making excuses of being busy to avoid meeting, this became her regular routine. Simple-minded Ashraf mistook Kajol's fickle behavior for a temporary bad mood. He blamed himself and remained consumed by thoughts of how to make Kajol happy again. Days went on like this. Then one day Kajol came to Ashraf crying hysterically. Sobbing uncontrollably, she told Ashraf that her father had suffered a massive loss in business. She claimed lenders were about to auction their house, and if she couldn't give them money, she wouldn't survive. Ashraf could not bear to see tears in his lover's eyes. He became desperate to save Kajol. Ashraf broke all his life savings, cashed out the DPS fund saved for his parents' medical treatment, and even took out a heavy loan from his friends. Gathering a substantial amount of cash, he handed it over to Kajol without a second thought. Seeing the spark of joy in Kajol's eyes when she received the money, Ashraf assumed it was tears of gratitude for him. Ashraf felt relieved, believing he had rescued the love of his life from a dire situation. But he couldn't have dreamed in his worst nightmares that this was all part of Kajol's master plan to bankrupt him. Right after receiving the money, Kajol's behavior changed drastically overnight. Ashraf's calls were constantly sent to busy lines, and messages went unanswered for hours. If he asked to meet, Kajol flatly replied that she was swamped with work. Slowly, a painful seed of suspicion began to sprout in Ashraf's mind. He started questioning himself. Did Kajol really love him, or was it all just a staged act? To tear through the web of doubt and find the truth, Ashraf went directly to an upscale cafe in the city where Kajol frequently hung out, without informing anyone. But upon arriving, the scene Ashraf witnessed left him completely unprepared mentally. Kajol was sitting in a corner of the cafe, dressed in expensive clothes with a bright smile on her face. Seated next to her was a guy from a wealthy family. On the wrist of the guy Kajol was talking to so cheerfully hung an expensive watch bought with Ashraf's hard-earned money. Kajol gently held the guy's hand and said, "Ashraf is such an absolute fool." With just a little fake crying drama, he handed over his entire life savings to me. I have no use for that pauper anymore. Hearing those words, it felt as if the sky had collapsed on Ashraf's head. The ground beneath his feet slipped away. The person for whom he sacrificed everything had thrown him into an ocean of betrayal like this. Ashraf's heart shattered into pieces in a single second. Hot tears streamed down his eyes. Ashraf stood frozen in the corner of the cafe. His limbs went numb, and his heart felt as if it had been ripped apart by a sharp blade. The person he had placed above his own life, the one he loved with every fiber of his being, was mocking him as a pauper and a fool. Unable to hold himself back, Ashraf slowly walked over to Kajol's table. Seeing him, the smile on Kajol's face vanished, replaced by a look of sheer annoyance and a flicker of panic. With a trembling voice, Ashraf asked just one question. "Kajol, is this the truth? Was my love only worth the money in my pocket? Were my emotions and trust just a game to you?" Kajol showed no remorse. Instead, she mercilessly dropped her mask. Standing up, she spoke with cold contempt. "Yes, that is the truth. Ashraf, who do you think you are? Did you really think I'd spend my life with a low-salaried employee like you? Can your love buy me luxury clothes or fulfill my dreams? Love doesn't fill a stomach. Money does. You gave me the money out of your own foolishness. I didn't force you. Now stop creating a scene and get out of here." The wealthy guy sitting beside her burst into laughter. With tears streaming down his face, Ashraf silently walked out of the cafe. His pure love was crushed into dust. That night, Ashraf felt like ending his life, but he pulled himself together. He decided he wouldn't destroy himself over betrayal. Instead, he would rebuild his life from scratch. For the next 2 years, Ashraf worked relentlessly day and night. He paid off his debts, focused entirely on his career, and eventually started his own small business. Through honesty and determination, Ashraf established himself as a highly successful businessman in the city. One day, a broken, pale woman walked into Ashraf's office. Looking up, Ashraf instantly recognized her. It was Kajol. Her expensive clothes were gone, her arrogance vanished, and her eyes were swollen from crying. The wealthy guy for whom Kajol had abandoned Ashraf had swindled all her money and dumped her. She was now completely penniless, with nowhere to go. Kajol broke down at Ashraf's feet, sobbing hysterically. "Ashraf, please forgive me. I was blinded by greed. Today I realized the true value of genuine love. Money comes and goes, but I never found love like yours anywhere. Please give me one more chance." Ashraf took off his glasses, stood up calmly and said, "Kajol, I forgave you a long time ago. But once trust is broken, it can never be glued back together. You loved money, and now that it's gone, you've come back to me. But I loved a human being then, and I value human beings now. However, there is no place for you in my heart anymore." Ashraf instructed his cashier to give her a small sum of money so she could afford her basic meals. But he closed the door to his life forever. Kajol left empty-handed, weeping uncontrollably. In her pursuit of money, she lost what she had, and what she destroyed could never be bought back with millions. Money can buy luxury, but it can never buy a loyal heart. If this emotional story touched your soul, please hit the subscribe button right now and turn on the bell notification. Your single subscription gives us the motivation to create more heart-touching stories. Don't forget to like and share this video.